All right, Marco, there's still controversy swirling about your position on immigration and your stance on the Arizona immigration bill that just passed. For the record, let's clarify that. And you had made some comments last night on a Spanish Spanish TV station, and it still brought up more cloudiness to this issue. Can you clarify?
Well, the only people confused are people in the media that don't understand it. My immigration position is very simple. The United States has immigration laws like every other country in the world, and the immigration law should be followed. No country in the world can absorb millions of people in an uncontrolled fashion. I believe our border with Mexico should be secured, and I believe that I'm a huge fan of immigration, but it has to be legal and it has to be through a process that works. As far as Arizona is concerned, I was opposed to the first law because I believe the first law opened the door to racial profiling. The Arizona legislature amended that law and as a result greatly improved the law. I support the 10th Amendment right of Arizona and every other state to deal with public safety issues. They feel this is a public safety issue. They've dealt with it in the way they think is appropriate. Ultimately, I believe that the right way to deal with this is not for states, but for the federal government to address it, because border security and immigration is a federal issue. But until the federal government deals with this issue, states like Arizona are going to start taking action.
So you support, because the federal government has failed us in that issue, you believe that the states should, if they do pass laws, let's say here in Florida, because there is an imminent threat, let's speak frankly, there is an imminent threat from terrorism, from other threats, drug traffickers, drug mules,
well,
gun
Florida
smuggling.
and Arizona's in a very unique situation. It shares a border with Mexico. Mexico has an all-out drug war going on. That drug war is coming across the border. The legislators and people of Arizona feel threatened by what's happening, and they've asked their political branch to do something about it. And under the 10th Amendment, Arizona has a right to pass a law that allows police officers to enforce federal law. But ultimately, that should not be an excuse for the federal government refusing to act. This is really not that complicated. The bottom line is the United States has immigration laws, and the immigration laws of this country need to be followed and adhered to. That's my position on immigration.
So if Florida, Texas, California, other states,
I prefer they don't deal with it. I prefer states.
But if they pass laws, would you support those laws?
I don't believe that states should be going out and passing laws. I think that the right solution to this problem is for the federal government to deal with it. That being said, I think more states are going to do it until the federal government acts.
Yes, because we both agree that the federal government has failed us in that regard. And again, this is not so much a state issue. This is national security. This is national sovereignty. And again, we have open borders in Florida and other states. So this could actually come down to hurt, obviously, state sovereignty and also your kids. You have 4 kids, like you said.
Ultimately, the federal government's got to do its job, and until it does, these states are going to look at these opportunities to do whatever they need to do to secure themselves from a public safety perspective. But this is not an excuse for the federal government to refuse to act. The federal government needs to seal the border and protect the border so we can have a legal immigration system that works for America again.